it's December now in real life, but still within the Jujutsu Kaisen story, it is Halloween, as this event really started right before Halloween Day, and now we have more just following up in that big bloody horror spree. But the last two chapters were more focused on Yuji, which I really liked. I think a lot of people thought the chapters were, they were pretty fast to read. It's not like they were like as deep as a lot of like the other chapters have been recently, or as serious. Like, it was just some nameless grasshopper curse that Yuji fought. I really liked it because we haven't had like a Yuji spotlight in a long time, so I thought it was really refreshing. But that whole event happened, broke the tool that was creating up the screen, and that whole barrier preventing them from going down to basement floor 5, where Satoru was fighting Jogo, Choso, and the unfortunately deceased from statement Hanami, unless he did some hopefully good tricks to survive. Is now they're gonna hopefully go down there and aid him. But the whole plan that the curses had set up to go against Satoru, fell apart when he, figured out how to work against their plan and ended up just pretty much splattering Hanami on a wall, which still upsets me because Hanami was one of my favorite characters of the series. But also it was really nice to see Jogo's reaction, because even though he's a curse, like he still liked his friend and he was concerned about it. But he's now just running from Satoru. He's just trying to get away from him, throwing civilians at him to try and distract him, to open up times to land a hit. Doesn't land a hit, like Satoru just puts up his infinity, and Jogo immediately just bolts out of there to try and figure out something to do. And you see in like a moment in his head, like he doesn't want to just like run away, doesn't want to retreat, doesn't want to flee, because he can't let Hanami's death be in vain. Because the curses do actually seem to have, a good relationship with each other. Choso is a bit different, because out of those cursed painted wombs, he's the oldest brother, and we don't know if there is a way for Kechizu and Esso to come back, because the items that they were used to create them seem to be indestructible, but maybe there's more complicated stuff than just putting them inside of a body. And obviously, when he has a connection to his siblings and they die off, he's gonna be pretty upset about it. But from that, he's just yelling at Choso to help out, because Choso just doesn't really seem fazed by that, and actually really thought that was telling for his character, because Hanami got crushed by Satoru, and Jogo's like freaking out at that, just how quick and like pretty casual it was. But Choso doesn't seem too bothered by it, and I think like not only just he's not friends with Hanami, I think also because that level probably isn't going to be a threat to him. He's obviously not stronger than Satoru, but I think he's definitely stronger than Hanami and Jogo. The thing that bothers me, that I will say, the idea of Hanami being dead, is we never got to see what that like flower bud, part of his curse on his shoulder was about. I want to see, like, is it just like a big giant energy cannon that he has for his trump card, or the fact we never saw his area expansion. I want him to be alive. I don't like Choso and Jogo. It's like, if they die, it's unfortunate, but I want to at least see what those two abilities of Hanami's are before he fully bites the dust and dies and is never seen from him again. It's a little bit harder for for curses to be killed, so I mean, there's a possibility that he is alive. Regardless, though, it's looking a little rough for the curses, because even with Choso throwing more attacks against Satoru, it's not landing. He's just stopping with his infinity. I actually laughed, because when I was rereading the chapter for the review, because I do the initial read, sometimes I'll read them again later on the day, but always before I end up reviewing the chapters, I read through them one more time, just to kind of get everything that I can, maybe see something that I missed. And I'm glad, because this is something that I did miss, not as an important story piece, but it's something fun in the page right after Choso, or on that page rather, that Choso attacks Satoru, and Satoru's just like, yeah, this attack's not gonna do anything. you see like he's contemplating what they're gonna do with the civilians, and one of them, I think it's the bottom right panel, if you look to the left of this shot guy, one of the dude behind him is dressed up as Batman. I just thought that was pretty funny. Nice little moment there. But after that, Satoru is, he's trying to formulate exactly the realization of what's going on, the reality of this whole fight. Because he knows, I mean, you really see the page before, the curses are throwing attacks aimed for Satoru, but killing people in the process just in the pathway of their attacks. He knows that they can easily kill all these civilians, and he's like, well, I can't save everybody, but at the very least I'm gonna do is exercise these curses, take them out, so they can't do this again. And that's probably why he's just so straight raw pissed off. Like he's not happy about this. Satoru he's a lot nicer than obviously like most sorcerers in the series, but yeah, I think that the realization and just the grasp on what he can and can't do here, and not because like who he is, but really just the situation itself, is nicely telling, but also really just like laying out for the future of like seeing what this guy's capable of, and seeing what his far ends are and where he's willing to push things in order to get things done. But as poor Jogo is like, it's already been 20 minutes, we need to get this over with. And I can tell, one thing I can't tell, Geto knew that they weren't going to really hold a candle to Satoru. He knew it was going to be, that they were lambs to distract the wolf. He did not have any idea of like, oh yeah, maybe they'll pull through. It's like, no, you didn't. You wanted them to pretty much be there to keep him in line until that whole part gets through, and then use this prison realm technique to seal him up. We actually got to see a little bit of the one of that cursed spirits, of that whole group, the weird like Cthulhu squid face looking guy. I mean, he's the one we haven't really seen much of. From back of like their initial like kind of design. We obviously got Mahito, Jogo, and Hanami. Still haven't got this tentacle guy. I'm assuming when you have like two of them are elements. Hanami's like plants and forestry, and Jogo is like fire, heat. I'm guessing this tentacly guy is gonna be some form of ocean, like water guy. Who knows though? I'm intrigued on that aspect, but that's just something to look at later. Meanwhile, you got Mei, her brother, and Yuji just coming down to line, trying to get down to this floor. Man, there's a lot of parkouring for him. Actually, the fact that Mei has her brother carry her axe, I think, is kind of funny. She's got a little assistant to do stuff for her. But once they get down there, they find some guy who's seemingly, he looks very rattled because, I mean, obviously, why wouldn't you have all these monsters and stuff running around? He gets right after a mutated, and just dies off. And Yuji's pissed. He does not like Mahito. Mahito is his opposing character, and he's not looking forward to having to see him in the aspect of what he's gonna run into, like more of these mutated, warped people. But he wants to find him to stop him. He wants to just pulverize him in all aspects, just grind him to a paste. But after that point, there's the train coming in. I thought for a second they were gonna like try and ram the train into Satoru, and we were gonna have Satoru just like use his infinity to like pretty much just void out, erase this train and just dust it. But comes in, and Jogo's excited because here's Mahito, who brings an entire train full of these mutated people that just go on a big flesh-eating crazy hunt. And it's poor Satoru, like he wanted to save people. He's like, okay, some of these people I can't save, but I need to focus on what I can do to save at least one person, save anybody. And it just kept getting worse and worse, and now you have all these mutated humans rummaging around and just slaughtering people en masse. And while he's just like, what are these guys doing? Like, why are they doing this? Here comes Mahito just skipping out of the train all happy and silly like, and they're ready now. He's like, oh yeah, now we can really get to this this next part of the plan, and I hope that we can do something with these guys afterwards. He's talking about like hunting them, like just like releasing them into a forest to hunt and play with. And he's like, oh, I don't know if I don't really know if we should do that. I can probably just burn the whole forest down if we do that. And Mahito's just like, Hanami won't like that. He's like, oh, Hanami's dead. And it's like, oh, that's unfortunate. Because they're friends. So I'm wondering what it's gonna be like next chapter when we see more of the like that take on Mahito before before the Christmas break. I think, like I said, I think we have one more chapter for Weekly Shonen Jump before the Christmas break, because obviously the manga need a break for the holidays as well. But pretty honestly, this chapter actually I think felt shorter than the last one. I think it was just because we got a lot of pages that had little to no text, because it was just depicting the scene, like, oh, what do you mean a train, and then just racing train in, all these people just like see it, and that hope that, oh cool, we can get out of here, and just an unleash of big monsters going around and just mauling through them, like just ravaging through a crowd was it was a really nice visual. The horror aspect is really you're really bringing the Halloween to December, Akutami. I mean at least there's that faction that all this. It's fun, but damn, it's a little bit spooky. Anyway, comment below, tell me your thoughts are about this chapter, and what exactly do you think that they're planning? Are they going to just try and rile up Satoru, because he said that he needed to get work done more. Geto's like wanted him to get seemingly more like kind of just, again, I don't want to say riled up again, more just jittered over all this, more energized over this situation. I wonder what exactly it's going to be that he needs to happen for him to use whatever technique he has, especially for the Satoru Gojo of all people. But anyway, thumbs up the video from the like button and subscribe button, and check out my other videos. With that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.